Our next bout is for the 145-pound championship. Fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the red sprawl trunks trimmed in black. Representing a next level MMA. Put them together for Eddie Snowflakes Dahlen. Out of the red corner, wearing the black and red trunks. Representing Capital City Cage Fights and Mid-Valley MMA. Give it up for Nasty Nate Becker! Our Capital City Cage Fight ring girls showing off the hardware on the line in this featherweight title bout.
And so we're ready for a title fight here. Nasty Nate Becker, the champion, lines up for the stare down, my favorite part, going against Eddie Snowflake Dahlen. And we've seen Nate Becker quite a few times here on Northwest Television Sports, and he's been able to pull out the victory every time. A great champion is Nate Becker, and we've seen him. He likes to strike. He likes to keep it on the feet. And that's going to make an exciting matchup because Eddie Dahlen likes to keep it on the feet as well, and they're both striking. Dahlen falls. Not quite sure if that was a slip or if Becker stumbled him there. May have rocked him, but Dahlen does a nice job of locking up Becker and pushes him up against the fence. And a nice job of landing knees up against the cage. And I'm not exactly sure what happened. I think maybe Dahlen was holding the fence while he was dropping those knees into Becker's head. And you are not allowed to grab the fence like that. So not only did he grab the fence, but he also, you can't knee to the head apparently as well. When a fighter, maybe Becker had a hand on the ground. Not quite sure there, but Dahlen was able to land some nice knees, but the position was broken up due to an illegal infraction. And so now they are standing up, striking. They're trying to, a nice shot landed by Dahlen. Trying to fill each other out. And another one, Dahlen doing a nice job of countering Becker. Oh, and another, Dahlen just landing that left hook, that left jab.
Once again, this is for the 145-pound title, so it is all on the line right now.
Yeah, and Dahlen really surprising me so far, getting the advantage on Becker. Becker coming in as the aggressor. And again, Dahlen lands that left hook. Becker with a nice knee inside. Another one. And this time comes up to the midsection. And Becker with a nice shot again. Beats Dahlen to the punch, but Dahlen just lifts him up and throws him right into the cage. And again lifts him up, and a nice takedown by Dahlen. So he's really taking it to Nate Becker. Becker doing a good job on the feet, but Dahlen says, okay, you want to take the advantage there? I'll take you to the ground, and pushes him up against the cage and then gets the takedown slam. And there you hear the crowd getting into it, really behind the challenger, Eddie Dahlen. Really has a nice fan base here. Becker able to swing around and get him into the full guard position.
It seems the audience wants a new champion here tonight.
Yeah, and Becker has defended that belt quite a few times. A fighting champion, and he's always entertaining as Nasty Nate, but he's in for a fight tonight. Dahlen really taking it to him. And he's currently in top position, looking to advance his position. Landing some nice strikes as Nate's just trying to get out of this position.
10 seconds left.
Yeah, Nate has Eddie locked up. And that's the end of a great first round. And already you can see how tired Eddie Dahlen is. So this being a title fight, I believe it's 5 rounds. Nasty Nate, we've seen him go deep into the match before. I think Nate may have a advantage in the stamina.
And there's what it's all about, the 145-pound title.
Yeah, and Nate, he may be in a little bit of trouble here.
Headed to round number 2, scheduled
Nasty
for 5.
Nate usually has the advantage. We heard the announcer was like, the Nasty Nate usually has the advantage on the feet. And that's we've seen a fight where he was really getting dominated on the feet, was able to take it down and get a submission. That was a fight earlier. Well, I shouldn't say dominated, but he didn't have the advantage, and so Nate took down his opponent and was able to submit him. This time, Nate is getting out-punched on the feet again, and Dahlen hits him with another couple good lefts, and another good left by Dahlen. But Nasty Nate can't take him to the ground and submit him this time. Well, he may be able to, but wasn't able to in that first round. Dahlen doing a nice job of keeping top position, not letting Nate get anything going, but Nate hitting him with some nice inside shots to the midsection. But Dahlen answering with an inside knee.
We know Nate has heavy power because at the beginning of the round, you saw Dahlen's corner being really careful on his left eye, so he could have an injury right there.
Yeah, we saw Nasty Nate hit him with a shot early in the first round, and Dahlen fell. Couldn't quite tell if it was a slip there, but you may be right. He may have rocked him early in that first round. And so far we see Nate pressing the fight, moving forwards, but Dahlen doing a nice job with that left, and again countered with a nice left. Nate coming in swinging, and Dahlen counter-punching and doing a nice job at it. And again, every time it's with that left hand. So Nate's just he's gotta bring up his defenses and look for that left hand every time he comes in. Eddie's, and that time he counters with the right. So I shouldn't say every time. Dahlen doing a nice job of mixing it up, but really landing that left punch, left hook, left jab.
And I do have to add, it's a very odd stance that Nate has with his head down. Almost out there like, hit me, but I'll still retaliate.
Yeah, he feels he has the advantage on the feet, and he usually does. And he's pressing the fight and landing good shots against Eddie. The problem is Eddie's doing a nice job of countering as well. So it's hard to tell who has the advantage so far on the feet. And Eddie ties up Nate, but Nate does a good job of shaking him off. And Eddie lands a nice body shot, but Nate comes over the top with a nice right hook. And so Eddie shoots and gets the takedown. Did a nice job of getting Nate to fall asleep, thinking they're going to stay on the feet, and then Eddie's just going to keep striking with him, and then shoots for the takedown out of nowhere, and he gets Nate to the ground.
You see some heavy bruising under Nate's left eye.
Yeah, and Eddie trying to improve his position, standing up, maybe looking to come in with a nice shot. There you hear the bell, only 10 seconds left. Nate trying to up kick. And a nice... Nate does a nice job of standing up right before the bell, but that's the end of round 2.
Round number 2 in the books.
And that time, Nate showed some signs of fatigue, so Eddie doing a nice job of tiring out Nate as well, and we're entering the 3rd round of this title fight. And again, another close fight, hard to call. And you see Nate pretty marked up in the face, so Eddie doing a good job of counterpunching. Nate's been the aggressor all night, but Eddie has done a good job of not getting overwhelmed on the feet, countering everything Nate throws. And again, Nate comes over with that overhand right. Eddie's doing a nice job of covering up, but he isn't returning as many punches as he was in the first and second round. Nate's starting to open up here.
These fans live in attendance are getting a great fight tonight, and I bet they want to see the full 5 rounds.
Yeah, you're probably right. And Eddie did a smart thing there. Wasn't really counterpunching as he had been the first 2 rounds. And so Nate saw that, started to open up on him, and Eddie did a nice job of taking him to the ground. And that must be frustrating for Nate. Started to get the advantage finally, and Eddie just decides, okay, we'll take it to the ground then. Nate hasn't been able to get much going from the bottom position tonight, and Eddie has put him there several times.
Looks like Nate's trying to wrap those legs around, trying to get some of that air out.
Yeah, Nate keeps bringing those legs high, hoping that he can slip one over the neck, maybe get a triangle choke or maybe an arm bar. And Eddie does a nice job of lifting him up and slamming him. Nate held onto that position though. Nice job of keeping Eddie locked up, and that's exactly what he was looking for, the referee to stand them up. Just trying to keep Eddie Dahlen's movement to a minimum. And as soon as they stand up, Eddie comes over with a nice overhand right, but Nate answers with a couple body punches. And you see Nate coming in every time with that 1-2 combo.
I see Dahlen to throw a lot of right punches now because he's going to focus on the injured area.
And Dahlen, again, kneeing to the face. He got in trouble in the first round for that. And there you see Nate's leg, again, up high, working for something.
It looks like you see a little bit of blood on Nate Becker.
Yeah, one of those marked up spots on his face that we saw early in that round may have opened up there. And Dahlen in side mount. Nate working to get him in guard and does a nice job of getting him in half guard. Again, has that leg high, working for some sort of submission, but Eddie just pushes through. And again, we said it earlier, but this has got to be a difficult position for the champion here. On his back in a close fight, and Dahlen doing a nice job of transitioning in the full mount. Becker trying to climb the fence, sneak out the back door.
It seems Nate's not really trying to push the subject right now, so maybe trying to tire Dahlen out.
Yeah, it could be, but Dahlen doing a nice job of body control. It might be that Nate just can't do anything. Dahlen doing a nice job of keeping him on the ground. And you know that's not where Nate wants to be. Has an advantage. And that's the end of the third round. At the very end, you saw Dahlen start to open up.
That's the end of the third round, scheduled for 5 in this title fight.
And so a close matchup. And we're going into the championship rounds here. This is going to be round number 4. A normal fight here on Northwest Television Sports or Capital City is 3 rounds, but the title fights, we go a whole 5 rounds. And you see both these fighters already pretty tired.
Don't forget, fight fans, check out footage from tonight's event and some of the other Capital City cage fights on KWVT channel 17.1. Saturdays at 10 o'clock. Unless there's a live event, then, you know, you'll be here. Right?
Couldn't have said it much better myself. Watching cage fights on Northwest Television Sports. And we're going into round 4 of a championship fight. Nasty Nate Becker versus Eddie Snowflake Dahlen.
Round number 4.
And this has been a competitive matchup so far. Again, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'm glad I'm not a referee here. Hard to call this fight. And Nate with a head kick, but Eddie answers with a 1-2 combo to the face. Nate with an inside kick. And Nate doing a good job of mixing it up. Kick to the legs, kick to the body, then 1-2 combo. But Dahlen answers with a nice left hook.
Seems a lot of Nate's punches are being slowed down right now.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're in there with a tough fighter like Dahlen. And Nate comes in with a flying knee, hits Dahlen a little bit. He may be rocked. Dahlen just trying to close the distance, hold Nate there, and Nate peppering him with some shots. They're Dahlen with the Muay Thai clinch, and he hits Nate with 2 knees. Gets him in the position again. Nate cannot stay in this position, this Muay Thai clinch up against the fence. Dahlen with another nice knee. So Dahlen has a nice Muay Thai clinch, also known as the plum. the Muay Thai plum. And you see, opened up Nate. You see the blood dripping from the nose there. A beautiful shot. I bet Nate doesn't think so, but... And there you see Dahlen working for that takedown. Nate has the advantage again.
Nate's here for one thing, and that's to fight. And his tattoo says it all. Live to fight.
Yeah, that's right. And Dahlen does a nice job of getting the takedown, taking Nate to his back, and he fell right into full mount. So dangerous position for Nate here, but Eddie is tired. Let's see if he can do much with it. And doing a nice job of landing a couple punches, but really slowed here in the fourth round. And at a certain point, if you're Nasty Nate, nice job of transitioning, gets out of there. I was going to say, you can't just lay on your back. It's a title fight, and it is close, so you don't want to leave it in the judge's hands. Nate landing some good strikes. And again, Eddie Dahlen with the takedown. And this is going to start to get dangerous for the champion. They've been pretty close in the stand-up affair. Nate, I would say, has a small advantage just because he's been the aggressor pushing the action. But Eddie has been taking Nate down at will. And those takedowns will add up in the referee's scorecard.
If I'm Nasty Nate Becker's corner, I'd be telling him to get a lot more flexible and, not having to go so deep in there.
Yeah, Nasty Nate looking to get out of this position, bring it to the feet again, so maybe he can do just that in this fight, standing up. But Dahlen doing a nice job of body control, keeping Nate down, not letting him go anywhere, and that's the end of the fourth round. So we're going to go into the fifth round of the title fight, and there you see Nate kind of upset with himself.
We are headed to a fifth and final round. Let's hear it for these two warriors.
But also Eddie Dahlen really slow to get up.
Yeah, not only slow to get up, but you can see how much he's leaning on his cornerman there. Nate too, but yeah, you can tell Eddie Dahlen is really gassed here.
Actually, right now, let's hear it for the Capital City Cage Fight Ring Girls.
And I think Nasty Nate has to put it all on the line here. I'd hate to say the champion is down, but, it really looks like Eddie Dahlen may have the advantage here going into the fifth and final round. Dahlen with the majority of the takedowns and pretty close on the feet.
Fifth and final round to decide the featherweight championship.
And here we go, the start of the fifth and final.
The final 3 minutes.
Sorry about that. It all comes down to the fifth and final round. Who wants it more?
Yeah, the final 3 minutes. And I think Nasty Nate has to go for something here. And Eddie Dahlen just stole that idea. He said he's going to take over this fight. He knows it's the fifth round, and he's going to leave it all in the cage. And Nate has to go for a submission or a knockout here, I think. I would have to say he's down on the scorecard. Nate trying to transition there in north and south position so far. Eddie is really tired. As you can tell, he's just trying to rest in this top position, throwing a couple punches, but really has no power behind them.
If they got that second win, now's the time to bring it out.
Yeah, Nate really needs to do something here. On his back in the fifth and final round, and most likely down on the scorecards. And Eddie's working for that full mount. Nate does a good job of trapping that leg.
Ooh, heavy hits right there.
Yeah, nice job of Dahlen opening up. And Dahlen is taking it to Nate in this fifth and final round. Nate not able to get anything going. He's been on his back almost the whole time.
Yeah, you can see the sweat on both these fighters, so it's very hard to keep a hold in there.
Yeah, it really is. And it should make it easier for Nate to stand up, but when you have a great fighter like Eddie Snowflake Dahlen on top of you, that is not as easy as it sounds. And Nate has that arm trapped, head and arm trapped. Dangerous position for Dahlen, but Nate really didn't have it locked up. Dahlen was already in the side position, so hard to get a submission from that position. And Dahlen slips the leg over and gets into full mount. He has the underhooks locked in.
once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is all for the 145-pound weight title.
Yeah, that's right. And these fighters are trying to leave it all in the cage. Nate doing anything he can to get up, but Dahlen has him in full mount, and he is not giving up this position. No, he knows he's leading this fight. And if Nate can't get anything going, then he's going to be trouble. Dahlen looking for a side choke here. Dahlen has Nate's arm and head locked up here. He needs to get out of full mount and start to creep up, but he gives up the position and looks to continue the ground and pound. I think he was kind of nervous about giving up the full mount position. To really make that side choke effective, you have to give up full mount position, creep to the side, and move your body upwards. Dahlen didn't go for it. Now Nate's looking for an attempt from the bottom, and that's it. The fight is over, and Nate's upset with himself, you can tell, but great sportsmanship bringing up Dahlen. Dahlen is gassed.
That's great sportsmanship by the champion.
Yeah, but
We'll take a couple.
There's the announcer.
We'll take a couple moments to tally the judges' scorecards, but keep it going for this action-packed 5-round featherweight title.
Yeah, you
bout.
said great sportsmanship by the champion, and you're right, but I don't know how much longer he will be the champion. A great fight by Eddie Dahlen. Great fight by both of these fighters, but I think Dahlen may have done just a little bit more in the referee's mind. And you can tell that he could not go another round. Dahlen is very, very tired.
Yeah, Dahlen had some heavy hits, as you can see on Nate right there.
Yeah, Nate's really marked up, and you can tell that he's pretty upset with himself. I think that he knows that he may have lost this fight. We're going to get the victory call here. But a good fight by both of these fighters. Well matched up, and really treated this crowd to a great matchup tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 5 hard-fought rounds, our judges have reached a unanimous decision. All 5 judges score the bout 50-45 for your winner and new featherweight champion, Eddie Snowflakes Dahlen.
Eddie Dahlen picking up the victory. And we thought he may have. The referees gave him the unanimous decision, and they said that he had won every round of that fight. A well-put-together fight by Dahlen, and he pulls out the victory.
And keep it going for his opponent, Nate Becker, a fine champion. He will definitely be back.
Yeah, Nate Becker definitely will be back. A good fighter and a great matchup tonight. Was just not able to pull it out. Dahlen took the victory because of those takedowns. And so we're going to look forward to seeing Nate back.
Hey, Eddie, come on over. You got a lot of fans screaming for you here. What'd you like to say to them right now?
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, let's get a word with the victor.
Oh, man, thanks everybody who's been there for me, guys. Stan, everybody. Vanessa, thank you for living for this fight. No, you know, I trained not hard enough. I'm sorry it was a little bit of a gas performance, but you know, that happens now and again, right? I'll come back and somebody will try to take it from me. Hope I look better that time.
That's right. He's aware already that people are going to be gunning for him now. Congratulations. We're going to let you catch your breath. Eddie Snowflakes Dahlen. And a few words from the former champion.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming in tonight. That was a good fight. I really liked that fight. Well, it was all right, I guess, but everybody who came, I love every one of you, but nobody more than my wife right there, the cute ring girl in the middle. So cutest, my bad.
All right, our former champion defended the title 3 times. Eddie Dahlen's got a chance to start a streak of defenses. One more round of applause for both these guys. That was a great featherweight fight.